It's Bourbon Bill. And tonight, a very different episode than we're normally used to here. It's a little Silverado review. I felt compelled to make this video to discuss the inflation that not only plagues bourbon, but also vehicles. Okay, so today, here's a 2016 Chevy Silverado. And you've seen these. These are on the road everywhere, right? This is a LT Z71. It's got fog lights. It's got LED running strips. It's got, I don't know what that is, but some sort of projector headlight. It's not your normal halogen, okay? The crazy part about this truck is that back in 2016 when it was bought new, it was a whopping $46K was the sticker, out the door for $34. $12K of incentives at the time of purchase. It's got 18-inch wheels, okay? It is a double cab. So there's that. So it has the longer bed, right, which is nice. But let's talk about the interior. All right, here we go. Door panel, if you will. It's a little bit soft touch material. Soft touch here. A squishy rubber here. Nice. It creaks a little bit. It's a Chevy. It's not a Mercedes, but overall pretty smooth gap. Okay, you got your mirror, your locks, power windows. Now, something that they don't even have on a lot of the 2024s. Child safety locks, automatic. Window lock, automatic. The child safety lock thing is pretty cool. You don't got to go to each door and undo it. So that's pretty cool. Now, like I said, this is not the lowest level they had. It is an LT Z71. So we got two-wheel drive, auto, 4 high, 4 low. This has 342 rear end in it. There's a little screen there in the middle, right, that you can scroll through with these buttons right here. Kind of standard fare. This isn't special really and all, but there's a few ways in which it is. So here's your screen. Now look down here. We don't have a lot of buttons because this isn't the highest trim level vehicle they offered in 2016. But what Chevy did do in 2016 is this is pretty nice. All the controls are here. Tune, volume, whatever. Dual zone climate. These buttons right here, they made different sizes depending on what features you had. So we don't have a lot of features in here. So there's 3. So they made them big. You don't feel cheap because there's no blank switches. Okay, so this is, is it the prettiest interior? No. It's got a locking top box, non-locking bottom. Here's something interesting. This is a flip-up seat, but it's got USB ports in there. Kind of cool. And again, this flips up to be a 3-seat across the front, which is kind of cool. I always like that. So there's the interior of the 2016. Okay, and that's what we want to talk about now. I got a loaner car because the wife's car's in the shop for inspection. This is a 2024 crew cab Chevy Silverado Custom. Okay, it's a Custom, so it's not as high as an LT. Window sticker on this bad boy, $54,000 nearly, and we'll get there in a second. And let's look at the headlights. Uh-oh, halogen. Halogen headlights for $54,000. Like, Chevy is smoking crack. Okay, now this is a crew cab, so I guess that's going to be a little bit more expensive than the double cab over there. But this is disappointing. It's 2024. We should not have halogen lights in a $54,000 vehicle. I don't think there's any fog lights on here because, again, we're too cheap. They would have gone here. And I get it. This is one trim level lower than that one over there. But price difference is pretty vast. And I know 2016, it's been a while ago, right? It's 8 years ago. And I know prices have gone up, but still. Now, one thing interesting about the 2024 Silverado is, well, okay, this is just cheap black plastic, whereas that one has paint color up top. Look, the sad part here is this is all cheap, scratchable plastic, whereas over here, it was painted. So they've just really cheapened them up in 2024. I mean, I'm sure you're not surprised, but that's true. They have bigger wheels. You know, okay, I think these are 20, so great. More expensive tires, and it rides a little rougher. Great, can't love it. The LT has over there again has the painted door handles. This is just again a scratchable plastic. There is 2 interiors though available in the 2024 Silverado. Anything that's like, I think LTZ or LT and above gets the new interior, which is really fancy and whatnot. But the lower trim levels deal with the actual old interior from like, I think 2019 to 2024 get this interior on the lower trim levels. Let's take a look at the door. You hear that? Cheap, scratchy plastic, not soft like the one over there. This is rubber, so that's kind of the same. But what's this? Okay, the other one had that nice textured, and look at this gap. Like, look at that. You can almost see where it snaps in. Like, terrible build quality compared to that one. And it was no master of, you know, just a whole lot cheaper looking here on the door. We're missing the child lock, and the window lock's up here now, but we're missing the automatic child locks. We come over here. Again, this is a custom, but we got auto, 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, and a simulated 4-low, so not packing the same kind of transfer case. We come over here to the steering wheel, and it's cheaper, so this is the rubber instead of the leather, but look at this. Too cheap on this, and this is not the base. This is not a work truck. This is above a work truck. Too cheap, and there's no package to get you this in a work truck even, although this is a custom, but no buttons to control your screen. Instead, you're going to get this stupid little twist knob here to scroll through your screens. I mean, that is dog shit cheap Chevy. Really is. And I'm a Chevy fan, as you can see. The 2016 is mine. This is a loaner for my wife's car. But that is dog shit cheap. Ford doesn't do that. If you get a cheap Ford truck, you can get buttons over here. It comes with it. So I'm not, you know, I'm not a Ford fan, but I'm a Chevy fan. But this Chevy, this is terrible. You should be ashamed of yourselves, honestly, for this. And then we go over here, and what I say about those buttons, if you're missing stuff on the 2016s, they changed the button size. Here they didn't. So you get the poverty, no switches because you couldn't afford them or you didn't want them. Sometimes you don't want them. How cheap that they didn't maintain what they used to do over there. Kind of sad for Chevy. I'm okay with the screen. You know, I don't need a massive screen, whatever. There's buttons here. Single zone climbing in this one. And okay, we'll forgive it because it's not a higher trim level. Your trailer brake controller's over here. You got that. Got a plug. 2016 has this in it, by the way. It's just down a little bit lower. You couldn't see it. 2016, also, this is all dead space here, okay? All dead space under here. Let's go back to the 2016 for a second. It's going to be hard to see, but here's the underside of that 2016. There is a fun little cubby hole there. And then your 2 plugs are here. It's hard to see, sorry. There you go, that's better. You see your plugs over there, and then there's actually a little drop down here. So it's like Chevy had all this precedence in design, and they just threw it out the window for a far stupider and cheaper design. It's like, I mean, man, that's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing, I think, for Chevy that they didn't do anything with this down here. Pretty cheap. This is push button start, whatever, don't care. Center console, this is also a flip up seat. Center console is worse, less utility. Well, again, we'll go back and compare for a second if you want. I mean, this is okay. This is padded, very similar. We can open this up. And look at that, nothing. No USB ports like the 2016 had. And that's not because this is a cheaper model. Even the more expensive models here don't have the USB ports in here because Chevy's just cheap, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Now, I guess we're going back and forth, and sorry. We normally do Bourbon videos. A little bit easier to film than these vehicle videos, if you will. Up here, we're missing a lot of features, obviously, but what's that? Just blank space. No sunglass holder, no nothing. What do we have back in the 2016? Well, some blank space. Well, some blank space again, but a sunglass holder. It's like, come on. And then here's the center we were talking about. Look at how This is way deeper, 3 across. You know, these are deeper to hold more stuff. That's right, the old push-on brake, baby. I love that feature. Gotta love that. We got just the electronic push brake here, which I'm not a fan of them. I prefer the foot push brake, if you will. This gets an F, okay, for obviously the price increase, massive. The horribly cheaper door panels. The missing the buttons that should be standard on every vehicle today to control things. I mean, that's just uncalled for. Ungodly cheap, Chevy. Ungodly cheap. Back again, this is a crew cab, so it's just bigger back here. The seats still flip up. We do get some USB ports back here. But where we get the plug, we don't, because we're in a cheap model. Just makes you feel a little cheap, you know? I don't love it. Back to the 2016, this is, again, a double cab, so it's just a little bit smaller in the back, but still, you can fit the car seats back here, don't worry. You get a little shelf pocket thing back here and a 12 volt. So, I guess you can call it a wash, although the USB is nicer. But even these back door panels are just so much nicer. Look at that stitching. We don't get a tailgate opener anymore. We just get a little button here. Because we're so lazy now, it ought to open like that. Now, I will say the bed on this, it feels a little bit deeper, feels a little bit wider. So I really do dig the bed on this, I will say that. And the big plus back here, big old plus on the 2024. Right in that corner is your AC outlet. So just a standard household outlet. Kind of cool for tailgating parties, you know, all that kind of stuff. And we got the flat, this is plastic, this is the spray and bed liner here. You got the little cup holders here, you know, your large big gulp and your small little rocks glass of bourbon maybe. As far as the hitch area down here, I think the 2024 is a little bit better. We got multiple hitch points on the receiver. All right, so here's the bed of the 2016. No fun outlets back here. It's still a pretty good bed. It's still pretty deep. I love it. It is the spray and liner. All right, your hitch setup back here. You know, right here where you put your chains. It's not quite as good, right? Because you don't have the second one here. And the only thing is, for the tailgate, it's not plastic piece on here, so it's not flat. So it is spray line like the bed, and you do get the gap in there. 2016 has the 5.3 V8. This has just an air raid thing in here. That's why it's missing the original box. That's the original cold air intake box over there, but there's just a pipe here and it cleans it up a little bit. As you can see, this engine base fairly open here, right? We can get at the hoses easily. We can work on it if we need to. This engine's been great. This truck has almost 80,000 miles on it. No issues whatsoever with the engine. Change the oil pretty regularly, whatever. 5.3 is a pretty good motor. Okay, it's not, you know, it's not a monster, if you will, but it gets the job done. It's been pretty reliable for me, and it's been a pretty good motor. And there's plenty of room to work on it if need be. This is the 2.7 Turbo 4. You can get the 5.3 in this, right? So it's not, it is more money though. You know, it's another $1,350. I don't know if there's an upcharge, but you don't get that credit. This is kind of the new GM front design. I guess it's for more crash protection, but it really sucks because the motor's pushed way back. You can see a lot less space in here to work on now. So even though this is the 4 Turbo, the 8 would be, you know, probably even more cramped than this, and it's just harder to work on these yourself if you're handy at all. So that I just don't love this new architecture, which really, I guess it's, you know, I'm sure it's more safe, whatever, you know, but I'm sure it's more safe, but don't like how it's all crammed in here. And well, this is kind of annoying on a new vehicle, but whatever. I think the 2.7 Turbo 4 is pretty decent, actually, as far as power goes. I don't know that I would get it. Maybe it doesn't have the same lifter problems that some of the 5.3s have, but it's pretty complex in other areas. But these have been around a while. These 2.7s have been around for a while, and they seem to be pretty good. So I don't know that I'd worry about that as much. So there you go. kind of just a quick rundown on where we're at in today's, I guess we'll just say, the truck market and just inflation in general. This is a lot less quality, a lot less everything than the 2016 for a lot more cash. Okay, a lot more cash. Only a few things are nicer, and really the only thing I can think of that's nicer is we got the outlet in the bed over there, and that's pretty much it. There's not much else we're going to say about this vehicle that's nicer, because it's not. Oh, I'm sorry, there's USBs in the back seat. Other than that, everything else about this is worse than the 2016. Also, by the way, it's the same cloth seat material. You can see a little pattern there. That's exactly the same seat material they had in the 2016. So that hasn't changed. Seats are fine. Don't have a problem with the seats. Well, it's a slightly different seat pattern, but basically identical. I don't have a problem with the seats. Seats are comfy. No issues there. Now, I know this was a Z71, and you got a better transfer case. You got a better rear end gears. But you got a lot more truck for $34K out the door if you just waited for a few sales on these in 2016. Then you're getting it at $53,000 in 2024. Now, hopefully, with the price of trucks, people getting a little pissy about it and stuff happening, that these are going to go on sale and you'll be able to get them at a discount again. But I just don't think that kind of money is acceptable for the quality, and a lot less lower quality you're getting on these things than you did in the 2016s. So, hey, hope you found this fun comparison here. If you did, I don't know. We really can't do more than this because what do you want me to do? I can't get vehicles review all the time. But just a fun little change of pace. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Have a good day, everybody.